What if I told you that the jealousy you feel in your relationship has almost nothing to do with your partner and everything to do with you? That the tightness in your chest when they don't reply, the uneasiness when they're too close to someone else, the silent comparisons you run inside your head, all of that isn't about love. It's about fear. And here's the eye-opening part. Jealousy doesn't protect love, it destroys it. Today, we're diving deep into the psychology of jealousy and insecurity in relationships. By the end of this video, you'll understand where these emotions truly come from, why they feel so overwhelming, and how they quietly sabotage love if left unchecked. And most importantly, you'll learn how to break free. But before we begin, let me say this. If you've ever struggled with overthinking, trust issues, or the fear of being replaced, this video is for you. I want you to stay with me all the way till the end because I promise the last part will flip your perspective in a way you've never heard before. And while you're here, hit subscribe and tap the bell because we're building a community that talks about the truths most people avoid in relationships. Comment jealousy below if you've ever felt this emotion take over you. Trust me, you're not alone. Let's be brutally honest. Jealousy is one of the ugliest emotions in love. Nobody likes to admit it, but everyone has felt it. You see your partner talking to someone attractive. They laugh a little too freely, and suddenly your stomach knots. You don't want to be the jealous partner. You don't want to look insecure, but your body reacts before your brain can stop it. Why? Because jealousy is primal. It's older than love itself. In evolutionary psychology, jealousy evolved as a survival instinct. Protecting resources, protecting bonds, protecting lineage. But in the modern world, we're not fighting for survival. We're fighting our own minds. Jealousy, at its core, is fear. Fear of losing, fear of being replaced, fear of not being enough. It disguises itself as protectiveness, but really it's an insecurity that whispers, what if I'm not worth staying for? And here's the kicker. When you feel jealous, you're not actually reacting to your partner's actions. You're reacting to the story you tell yourself about what their actions mean. They don't reply fast enough? You tell yourself, I'm not a priority. They post a picture and don't tag you? You tell yourself, they're hiding me. They laugh with someone else? You tell yourself, they like that person more. Notice how all these interpretations are about you, not them. That's the uncomfortable truth. If jealousy is the fire, insecurity is the fuel. Think about it. A secure person doesn't panic if their partner's phone lights up. A secure person doesn't assume betrayal every time plans change. But when you're insecure, every little action feels like proof of your deepest fears. Psychology shows that insecurity often comes from early wounds. Maybe you grew up feeling invisible, compared, or abandoned. Maybe you've been cheated on before, and now you scan for red flags even when they're not there. But here's the eye-opening part nobody talks about. Insecurity isn't just about your past, it's about control. When you don't feel secure in yourself, you try to control your partner to feel safe. You check their phone, you question their tone, you create rules and tests to measure their loyalty. But all this control does is suffocate love. It pushes your partner away. And ironically, you create the very outcome you fear, losing them. Let me give you some real situations. Imagine you text your partner and they don't reply for hours. Insecurity starts whispering, they're ignoring you. They're with someone else. They don't care. So by the time they finally reply, you're cold, distant, or angry. You push them away when all along, maybe they were just busy. Now imagine your partner likes someone's picture on Instagram. You immediately compare yourself. Am I not attractive enough? Do they wish they had someone like that? You spiral into self-doubt instead of realizing that likes on a screen don't equal love in reality. Sometimes you start testing your partner without admitting it, ignoring calls to see if they'll chase, pretending not to care to see if they'll notice. These games might feel clever, but they erode trust. No one likes to be tested, they like to be trusted. And here's when I get controversial. Jealousy is not proof of love. We've been conditioned by movies, songs, and culture to think if they're jealous, it's because they care. No, that's not care, that's fear. Real love is not possessive. Real love is not suspicious. Real love is not about ownership. Jealousy doesn't mean you love your partner. It means you're terrified of losing them. And here's the paradox. The tighter you hold on to love out of fear, the faster it slips away. Young people today need to hear this. If your partner is constantly jealous and insecure, don't mistake it as passion. It's not romance, it's control. And over time, it will strangle your relationship. So what do? The answer isn't to demand more reassurance from your partner, it's to build security within yourself. Think about it. If you truly believed you were enough, if you trusted your own value, would you panic every time your partner smiled at someone else? No. You know that you bring something unique to the table that no one else can replace. The problem isn't your partner's actions, it's the meaning you assign to them. When you change that story, you take back your power. Here's a radical thought. Jealousy is your teacher. It points you to the places where you don't feel whole. Instead of asking, why is my partner making me jealous? Ask, what insecurity is this revealing in me? For example, if you feel jealous when they talk to someone attractive, maybe the real wound is, I don't feel attractive enough. If you panic when they don't reply, maybe the real wound is, I don't feel important. If you compare yourself to others, maybe the real wound is, I don't feel worthy. And the real work is healing that, because no partner can constantly prove your worth to you. That's an inside job. But here's something we rarely admit. Jealousy doesn't just come and go. It feeds on overthinking. Think about it. You notice one small thing, your partner's delayed reply, their laugh with someone else, a like on Instagram. And instead of letting it go, your mind spirals. You start replaying scenarios, building stories, imagining betrayals that don't exist. This is where jealousy and overthinking become toxic partners. One triggers the other, and together they create a storm that drowns your peace of mind. And here's the eye-opening truth. Most of what you're jealous about isn't real. It's imagined. It lives in your thoughts, not in your partner's actions. That's why if jealousy is weighing on your relationship, you also need to learn how to master your overthinking. Because until you calm the storm in your own mind, you'll always see threats where no exist. We actually did an entire deep dive on this, the shocking psychology of overthinking and how to escape it. And trust me, if you've ever felt trapped in your own thoughts, that video will hit you hard. I'll leave the link in the description and at the end of this video. Make sure you watch it right after this one. Let's get philosophical for a moment. The existentialist Kierkegaard once said, anxiety is the dizziness of freedom. In love, jealousy is the dizziness of uncertainty. We want absolute guarantees that our partner will never leave, never cheat, never change. But love is freedom, and freedom always carries risk. Here's the truth most people avoid. Love is never secure. At any moment, someone can leave. That's terrifying, but that's also what makes love meaningful. If it was guaranteed, it wouldn't be love, it would be possession. So when you feel jealous, remember, the goal is not to eliminate risk, it's to trust yourself to handle it. Now let me show you something even darker. Jealousy is addictive. It gives you a twisted sense of importance. When you obsess over your partner's loyalty, it makes you feel like the relationship revolves around you. But this false power eventually crumbles. And here's the haunting question. What if your jealousy says more about your own desires than your partner's actions? Sometimes the people most obsessed with being cheated on are the ones secretly tempted themselves. They project their guilt outward. That's why unchecked jealousy isn't just a flaw, it's a shadow. And unless you face it, it will control you. So let me leave you with this. Jealousy isn't a sign that you love deeply, it's a sign that you fear deeply. And until you confront that fear, no amount of reassurance will ever be enough. The strongest relationships are not the ones without temptation. They're the ones where both partners trust, not because they have to, but because they choose to. Now I want you to hear from you. What triggers your jealousy the most in relationships? Is it when your partner doesn't reply, when they talk to someone else, or maybe when you compare yourself online? Drop your answer in the comments. Not only will it help you release some of those thoughts, but you'll also see how many people are struggling with the same thing. And if this video opened your eyes, hit that like button. It really helps spread this message. Subscribe to Psych Rhythm for more raw, real psychology of love, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Remember, love isn't about control, it's about courage. And the bravest thing you can do is to love without chains. Thank you for watching the video. Take care and see you next time.